In this video, I'm going to talk about how to find your art style in very specific autistic levels of detail. So, straight away, the first thing that you need to know is your art style is just a combination of multiple other artists. You are not unique. Your art style didn't come out of nowhere. The way your art is influenced is mostly by other people's work, even if you don't realize it. You're always getting insight from other people all the time. And yeah, that's cool and shit, but how do we actually develop a cool art style? So, the first thing that you have to do is to study other artists, especially artists that you specifically like. For some reason, I see a lot of people, especially beginner artists, who are very reluctant to use references. They're just drawing from imagination most of the time, making original characters and having fun, which is fine, fair enough. But if you want to develop a better style, if you're looking on social media and you see, oh, my style absolutely sucks in comparison to this guy, for example, drawing from imagination is a good thing, but studying other people will get you a lot further. Will give you a lot more mileage and will actually teach you a lot of things. It's like putting yourself in the shoes of the artist you're studying, especially if you're studying multiple people every single day. It's going to be very beneficial. So make sure to use a lot of references and just pretty much copy as many people as you can. And this is another point. I know a lot of people are afraid of copying and they want to remain original, right? So they don't actually copy any other artist. Matter of fact, I used to do this a lot. Even when I was using reference, I would still not follow the reference 100%. Because it just felt kind of dirty, to copy the whole thing without adding a little bit of your brain and your decision making. But you have to know something. It is very important, as I said, that you put yourself in the artist's shoes and you're able to comprehend the decisions and every line, everything, be able to compare yourself with the artist, which, a lot of people might say it's a bad thing, right? Comparison is the thief of joy, whatever. But when you're studying, holy shit, I think it's very important to compare yourself, which you end up doing anyways. It doesn't matter if comparison is the thief of happiness. You always end up comparing yourself to a reference. And this is a very human and actually helpful thing if you are looking for improvement. So copy other people's art, then just compare the results and try to figure out, okay, what went wrong with my art? Why is it different? Why is it wrong? What decisions did I make any different than the artist, and how can I fix that? And I need you to trust me here. When you voluntarily go through that, like a mental, intellectual process, when you're constantly thinking and stimulating that critical part of your brain, you're going to actually improve. And as a bonus, you're going to get better at drawing at the style that you just studied. Common sense, right? The more you do it, the better you get. And, if you study a shit ton of people, you're definitely, it's almost like you have a piece of their brain, almost like from every artist you study, you can extract and keep in your brain like a puzzle. This is also going to improve a lot your visual library, and it's going to, again, I visualize this almost like a puzzle where you are connecting the pieces with every other artist. We keep getting feedback from each other and constantly learning. The second point, which is actually the most important one, and this can potentially make you improve at least 3 times faster in art in general. And this is looking at art when you're not making art. So you probably already do this. I don't know. I honestly don't know the artistic habits of people. But when you're not making art, I'm not very sure if this makes sense for other people, but when you're not making art, you have to look at art. You have to consume content related to art. And this is not just for the sake of feeling productive, right? Feeling that you're spending your time wisely, which you are, absolutely. But it's actually because it is productive, 100%. And let me explain you why. You see, let's say making art is divided into steps or in 2 categories. In one side, you have making art, which is very obvious. Just sit in your desk and just start drawing or doing anything. And the other side of it is just looking at art or observation. So we can easily divide this two in observation and creation. So observation is insanely important. And the thing is, a lot of people only focus on creation, on the creative part of art, which is, yeah, pretty much create. But you have to learn to observe. Man, I cannot stress how important this is. And obviously, if you only observe but you don't make art, it's not going to be very helpful. Your brain is still going to absorb a lot of knowledge and a lot of information from the art you're looking at. And it's going to get stronger the more you practice, the more you make art, the more you create. Your brain will be able to absorb this information in a way more effective fashion. So I want you to take this part seriously. Looking at art is important. At minimum, you want to be looking at art content for at least 1 hour a day. If you can do more than 1 hour, if you have a lot of free time, you can do it and it will be completely worth it. I'm gonna explain you the way I do it. I have like a few ways of doing this, and the first one is by using Instagram. So if you go to my Instagram feed, pretty much every single post, every single account I follow is related to art, paintings, drawings, anything related to art. At least 98% of the accounts I follow are art accounts, or at least something that I can get inspiration from. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be painting or drawing, it can be maybe sculpting or maybe even music. If you don't like the Instagram approach, you can go to websites like Pinterest, where you literally can find anything, any art style you want, any artist. Literally everything is in Pinterest, every single bit of inspiration. So I have a bunch of stuff saved in here for just, again, just getting inspiration and potential studies and stuff. So something very easy you can just do is look up art or painting or drawing, and a bunch of different artwork will show up. You just click the one you like, then scroll down a little bit, and then eventually it will show you a lot of different new art, new things that are within the style you like. So, for example, again, if you like drawing anime, or if you like certain kind of photos, or if you like impressionism, whatever, you can find everything in here. You can also go to Twitter, TikTok, even here on YouTube, you can get a lot of inspiration from different artists and content creators. We have so many sources of information and learning and everything that it's incredibly easy to develop our observational skills. So, again, this is very important. This is like 50% of all the work, observation. Hell, even when you're not at home, you can still work on your observation skills. When you're at a coffee shop, you can look at the tables in perspective and you can get more observant about it, or you can look at the colors, you can look at the people, at the shapes, and everything. The third point is your medium. So your medium affects your style 100%. Some things that can affect your style could be the brushes you're using, your art software if you're drawing your computer, and of course, if you're a traditional artist, you have a huge bunch of tools that you can use that will definitely define your art style in a more drastic way. For example, if you use like a brush pen or a ballpoint pen or just a pencil, you can use a shit ton of things. You can even use fucking chocolate syrup, and that's pretty much up to your creativity. You have to be also creative, but this is something you do figure out over time, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Point number 4 is be comfortable with having multiple art styles. I don't know if this is you, but a lot of people as well are like, oh, I have a lot of art styles. I don't know which one I should stick to. But the thing is, you should be able to adapt multiple art styles into your work. I think it wouldn't be too healthy to only, I don't know, confine your art to having only one art style and, this is everything that I'll do for the rest of my life. You have to be able to open up to different styles, different methods, again, maybe even to different mediums, and getting comfortable with your art being versatile, which I personally think is amazing. I don't see any downside whatsoever. Maybe the only downside I can think of is that if you have so many art styles, you can just over focus on just one, and then you stop taking care of the rest, and you start kind of getting rusty. But still, that's not necessarily something bad. It's just life. It's still your choice at the end of the day. But I really don't see how closing yourself to different approaches to art can be beneficial whatsoever. If you want to learn more about painting and art in general, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you're really, really serious about it and you really want to learn, you can go to the first link in the description and I'll make sure to give you personalized training to help you improve your art. So, yep, that was everything for today. I'll see you guys in the next video.